My windows are closed. That sound you hear, that is Buddy using the litter box right now. That sound you hear, that is whatever it is they do up there. And this sound here is my brain exploding. That sound you just heard, I believe, was a car accident. Hey guys, Sean here. So this week's video is going to be a little different because it is sort of a travel vlog, but it is also presented in a Quentin Tarantino style. By that I mean it is chronologically out of order, and as I am speaking to you right now, it is the most recent time to when you are, well, actually that's not true because, now is the most recent time to when, now is the most recent, actually no, now is the, okay, you understand how time works. Basically, what I am saying is that I am recording this now, as I have already completed all of my traveling. I will be showing you footage of last Friday, when I was flying to Portland. I will then be coming back to this time, or now, and talking to you about what happened when I was in Portland. And then I will be showing you footage from Sunday when I came back from Portland. So as you can see, it'll be current past, but the second pass will be the future to the first pass. I could do a chart, but it's easy to figure out. So, where to begin? My best friend, her husband, their now 1-year-old daughter, and her mother currently live in Newberg, Oregon. Recently, when I was looking at Lindsey Sterling's concert schedule, I noticed that on October 1st, she would be performing in Portland. October 1st just so happens to be my best friend's birthday. So I said, hey, how about I come up there for your birthday and we go see Lindsey Sterling on your birthday in Portland, Oregon. I haven't seen them in about 2 years, so this was something that I really needed to do for internally. So I bought the tickets for the planes, I bought the tickets for the concert, and I went to LAX on September 30th. I went to my gate, I walked down some stairs from my gate, I got on a bus, which was very bizarre, and that is where we pick up with the footage. Sorry to interrupt, guys, but ever since I saw Tim Burton's Batman in the 80s and Jack Nicholson's Joker did that, I've always kind of wanted to do that, so this presented the perfect opportunity to do that. You see, because I kind of forgot to talk about the shot that you were about to see of me on the plane. When I got to LAX and was checking in, I noticed on the screen that there was a button that said upgrade, and out of curiosity I clicked it just to see what was available and for how much. They had upgrades for first class for $100. Granted, $100 for 2 hours of sitting in a plane time is a little on the steep side since it is $50 an hour basically. However, I had just finished working 12 days in a row with crazy overtime, and I was like, why not? How often is this going to happen where it's going to be this cheap and this available? And so here is what that looked like. Wasn't that exciting? Seeing the footage out the plane window of all the stuff happening? That was... I came up with that. That was... Huh? Oh, I didn't come up with that. Oh, every vlogger in the world has done that. Oh, okay. Apparently every vlogger in the world has done that. So, I got to Portland. Her husband picked me up at the airport, who is one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. We used to be roommates for about 2 years. He took me back to their home, where I met their adorable, adorable child for the first time. Of course, I am biased because she is maid of 2 of my favorite people in the world, so of course I'm going to think she's the most adorable child who's ever lived. And eventually her mother came over, who I also got caught up with, and I absolutely adore, because when I first moved to California, she gave me a place to stay for my first 1.5 years. We hung out the rest of that night, and then the next day, which was Saturday, October 1st, we drove to Portland, and we saw Lindsey Stirling in concert for me the second time in 51 days, for them the first time ever, and of course it was amazing. I'd show you what the concert looked like, but you've already seen it twice. Here, I'll put the thing here, the callback. You can click on it, and it'll take you to one of the previous videos. I don't know which one, it'll be random. It'll be the first one. Needless to say, this was my 4th time seeing Lindsey Stirling, and every single time it has been completely different. The last time I saw her, which was 50 days before this time, was the end of the Shatter Me tour. This was the beginning of the Brave Enough tour, so they were completely different shows, which was great. And once again, I was completely transfixed, I was blown away, there's no better performer on the planet, all the stuff. I cannot say enough stuff about Lindsey Stirling. I should really stop before these videos get too creepy. Maybe they already have. The next day, Sunday, we hung out for a little while longer, and eventually I had to go back to Portland to get on a plane to come back to LAX. I hadn't gotten a seat assignment yet, so I had to get one at the gate, and when I did, they were like, "Do you want the exit row?" And I'm like, "Of course I want the exit row," because there's an extra, like, 1/2 inch of leg room, and I'm 6'1". I don't know if you noticed in all the pictures with the people at the conventions that I tend to be a little taller than all of them, so extra leg room is very important to me because most of my 6'1" is leg, so anytime I can get an exit row, that's the best, unless it's first class, but that's rare occasion. He says after earlier in the video mentioning that he flew first class. Once I was all checked in, I finally went and I found a semi-empty gate at the Portland airport to finally record my John Green style waiting for your plane to take off and record a video. Unfortunately, there were enough people around that I was being kind of quiet and the sound wasn't very good on this. So as a result, I ended up not being able to use any of that footage, and so I had to re-record the things that I was saying there in these videos. You've already seen them, so you don't really notice any difference. I don't know why I just told you that, now I just kind of ruined it. Once I was done with that, I went back to the gate and I decided it was time to play with my new camera. Now, I mentioned my new camera last week as it was the first video that I shot on it, and all of these parts of this video, the talking into the camera and not the out in the world parts of the video, were shot on my new camera. I'm still doing the out in the world vlogging stuff with my iPhone, but the in-house, I guess, stuff is done with my new camera. My new camera is a Nikon Coolpix P900. It looks a little something like this. It'll be interesting to see how jarring this is since I went from this camera to my iPhone, and I'm going to be going from my iPhone back to this camera. But isn't it pretty? It's got this neat little pop-up flash and this crazy zoom lens, this really, really crazy zoom lens. We'll talk more about that in a second when I'm back on this guy. And like pretty much every camera in the last 10 years, of course, has a fold-out screen, which is very important when I am shooting these videos. But yeah, Nikon Coolpix P900, let's go back to it now. Didn't know I could do that. The big selling point of this camera, and the thing that everyone has been talking about with it, is the zoom on it. It has an 83 times zoom. You can search on YouTube and you'll see all sorts of videos of people that set up the camera on a tripod outside and they zoom up onto the moon and they get this incredible video of the moon at like really close distance. It's crazy. I haven't had a chance to try that yet, but when I was in the Portland airport, I decided I would try it out. So I sat next to the window, picked a point across the airfield, and this happened. As you can see, I did this about 3 times. We've got zooming up on various things and zooming back, and I just really wanted to see how it looked, and we'll see how it looks in this little window here. I don't actually know as I'm recording this, obviously, but you see it now, and me later editing this saw this now, so this will be interesting. I hope this is interesting. This position I'm standing in is getting a little awkward, and it's starting to hurt my leg. I don't know how long this zoom footage is. Okay, hopefully that was enough. Eventually, it was time for me to get on the plane. However, this plane had some very special passengers on it. Turns out that weekend there had been some sort of women's college soccer tournament going on in Portland. On my flight were the women's college soccer teams from UCLA, USC, and LMU. Eventually, I landed in LAX, got out of the plane, walked to the ridiculously old-looking hallway, which I will discuss a little bit later in the rest of the footage of this video. So, I am back in LA. I am back in my car. The building that I work at is less than a mile from LAX, and since it's a giant corporate campus that has a lot of companies that use LAX a lot, it has free super shuttle service. So I was actually able to get a super shuttle back to my office building where my car has been for the last 3 days, and so here I am. There's some guys doing some sort of like mini bike cone course, like right in the parking lot next door. It's 10:50 at night, so that's a little weird, but whatever. I am a little hungry, so I should probably stop and get something on the... No, actually, wait. This past Friday was payday, wasn't it? So I'll be right back. Okay, so my work has started doing something recently where every payday we get ice cream. So I got ice cream. So this will be my dinner for tonight. I'm a grown-ass man. I can do whatever I want. So just a few last-minute things about my trip. Whenever I fly in and out of LAX, it seems like it's a different airport every single time I fly out of it. There's always something new that I have to do. This time I had to go out a door, out onto the tarmac to get into a shuttle that then took me to the plane that I was getting... Well, it took me to another part of the airport that then I got on the plane that I was getting on. And whenever I come back and I go through the, like, old, decrepit tunnel that you saw when I was walking, there was a bunch of people walking through it. And it looks very 80s, and that's mainly because it's been in, like, every movie since the 80s. Every time I walk through there, all I can think is, this is the airport that, like, movie stars and big celebrities always go through when they get home. And that always just amuses me to no end, because it is like... It is the most decrepit airport, and they say they've been renovating it for like many years now, but it does not show at all. It's just the fact that it's one of the biggest airports in the country, and it is as dilapidated as it is. Like, if you walk through it, you wouldn't believe that. Like, say you were knocked out and you just woke up in an airport and you walked around it. There's no way you would know that you're in one of the most famous airports in the world. So basically all I need to do now is just drive home and figure out how angry Buddy is. And with that, have a good however long it is until you watch my next video.